fuck I don't like sobriety. This is gonna get weird.
Welcome to the G.N.A podcast, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol, where we don't let Zyber ever use our bathrooms because he pulls a D. And I can see him already smiling now. How you doing, Zyber?
Much better. Much better.
Yeah,
and it does smell better in here. Just want to clarify, it does smell better.
It's amazing what a half gallon of Febreze will do.
Febreze? Fuck that shit. I used a half thing of poopery all over the house.
See, Cecil's sitting there talking shit, man, and I do believe that we were playing a game yesterday, and you were yelling at the wife.
Oh yeah, but there was a big difference though. She shit the bed right next to me, like within 5 feet of me, and I had to taste that. Now she cleared me out of the room, man, like physically out of the room. It was bad.
Yeah, he was gagging.
I was gagging. And the worst part is that I'm gagging, so she's laughing at me gagging, and it's making her fart more. And it was horrid. It was just so bad. Anyways, you heard him there. There's Damok joining us tonight. Damok, how you feeling, man?
Damok is here! I'm good, dude. It's gonna be a good goddamn night.
Very nice. And we got Dee playing with his nose over there. How you feeling, Dee?
Better. Recovering still from being sick as a dog, so.
Man, I got to get you to have that mic, within like a foot of your face versus being like 6 feet away above your monitor.
And
I'm Cecil Xavier, your host. I've had a hell of a week. And sure enough, I friggin' twisted my wrist while I was helping my parents get their baggage into the car.
Lies.
So I have to friggin' no.
Lies. It was all Pornhub.
First off, that would be this hand. And as you can see, that hand is fine. This hand, however, hurts because I was trying to wrench stuff into the back of a friggin'
Wait
car.
a second. I thought you were a righty.
No. See, here's the thing. Here's the truth. He was trying to do the stranger. And, well, not being used to using that hand, he kind of like twisted it the wrong way and was like, oh, shit, that actually hurt.
Alrighty. I'll admit it. I actually read that if you stick a couple fingers up the bum while you're about to nut, that it'll feel better. It'll feel even more climactical. And, the sphincter just wrapped around those fingers so tight, and I twisted and just, wrenched my wrist right out.
Doesn't help that I was running a triathlon at the time.
Yeah, it does not. Well, let's get into the most important part. What is everybody partaking in? Gentlemen, let's go around the room. Zyber, what are you partaking in, man?
I am drinking a New Belgium Juicifer. Yeah, so pretty basic.
Oh, wait a minute. Juicifer as in like Lucifer, but Juicifer?
Yeah, it's like if you took a Jew and Lucifer, ground them up together, you get a Juicifer.
Or Shadow's wife.
That too. She takes Shadow away from us.
She does.
I'm hurt.
She doesn't let him play. What about you, Damok? What are you partaking in, man?
So I decided to mix it up a little bit. I have some Market Pantry tonic water. It's pretty good. It's low sodium. It says it right on the bottle. I don't know how low sodium it actually is. I failed to read the instructions. I have a...
Man, you spent a lot on that.
Yeah, I didn't buy it, too. The girlfriend did. Like, I don't fucking buy this shit. But anyways, I have this wonderful glass right here, right, with a little piece of lime in it, or lemon. I don't know what it is, but the girlfriend cut it up for me, and it's amazing. And then... Oh, she says lime, if you didn't hear her. And then I have Plymouth Gin, because I wanted to try a new gin, and it's fucking good. I don't know what to say about it, but beef leather. It's not leather, but the
Beefeater?
yeah, that one. It's okay, but it's got too much of a bite. I don't like it. And then Bombay Sapphire is, of course, my go-to, but it still has a bit to it. This Plymouth gin, it's my new favorite. I'm super fucking excited.
I gotta ask, have you ever tried Tomcat gin?
No, because I've never really been a gin and tonic person until I went with Cecil to that retreat for like 4 days. And while they were all at the pool and having a good time and splashing around, all, wonderful times and everything, I actually sat at the bar and just ordered a regular beer. And there was a really nice elderly black gentleman next to me, and he was drinking gin and tonic. We got into a really good conversation about it. He told me I needed to try it and expand my horizons. And so I decided to start trying gin and tonic. It's not the first time. I really didn't like it the first couple times, and I kind of enjoyed it after that. Now, I think I found my gin, and I'm just going to go with it. Plymouth, but the next one, they make 2 versions. I have the regular one. Unfortunately, the Navy version of the Plymouth, which has a much higher ABV by like 6 or 7% or so, I could be wrong, that was not available to me. But it's still good.
I recommend trying that Tomcat gin, man. I think you'll be impressed.
All right, well, then I'll try again.
Next time I'm over in England, I will pick you up a bottle of that same gin I got David. Supposedly it was really good.
He loved it and went through that bottle so fast.
Yeah, that was made actually in Weymouth. Like, it was a distillery in Weymouth that I got that from. It's pretty cool. So I have a question for you, since we're just going to quickly shift gears over to this, because you were over last weekend and you got a chance to try some of that Methuselah rum.
Yes, I did.
What did you think of it?
So, if you know me, I'm not a big rum drinker. I drank way too much Captain Morgan when I was in the Army, and Captain Morgan and Keystone, and it was really bad, and my stomach just doesn't handle rum all that well. So I poured half a glass, a little less than half a glass, and just drank it straight, and it was warm.
Half a pint glass.
Yeah, half a pint glass, because who the fuck drinks out of small glasses unless you have a bottle of gin sitting next to you like I do? Anyways, half a pint glass. I gotta say, it was really, really smooth. It was really flavorful. I'm terrible at saying what flavors are because my taste buds are kind of fucked to begin with from a long time. But if I was gonna buy a rum, it's Pirate and Methuselah all the way. I would choose Methuselah if I had the extra cash to burn. Really good, really smooth. Absolutely enjoyed it. It did still upset my stomach, though, sadly. But all rum upsets my stomach because it goes back to Captain Morgan.
Oh, yeah, the Methuselah is nice, but that 23-year was a bit expensive, but it's still worth it. I think maybe in a few weeks I'll pick up another bottle just to have it hanging out, but then I'll enjoy it a little bit more instead of drinking 3/4 of a bottle in 2 days.
No, see, that was kind of a waste on your part, man. I know it's really good rum, but that's one I could pour another, half a pint and then sip on the entire time that we play a game.
Yeah, it was really good, but that's the problem, is that it was so good and so smooth, I just kept drinking. And then once I did like the little splash of Coke in it, just to give it like just a little different flavor, like it was all over.
I thought you hated coconut.
No, Coke in it.
Oh, deaf.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I live this close to Petersburg. I can get Coke anywhere. What about you? Well, actually, you're going to be lame, but what about you, D?
Fucking water, because I'm on a bunch of medications, so...
Is it at least Deer Park?
No, it's fucking tap water.
God damn it, dude. I was hoping that Cecil was going to do it, but he didn't because I left a bottle of Deer Park in his fridge.
So I saw that and I almost pulled it out tonight. I saw it. I put it right. So I put the Dark Hollow in the freezer to let it, well, that's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking some Dark Hollow. So I put the Dark Hollow in the freezer to get it cooled quicker. And then I took it and I put it on the top, shelf of the fridge and I put it right next to that Deer Park. And I went, should I just not drink tonight? Should I just No, I got a Dark Hollow for a reason. I'm going to drink the Dark Hollow. So that's what I'm drinking. I picked up my parents from the airport, drove them back down here, but on the way I stopped by, picked up a couple of Dark Hollows. So I had one in the freezer chilling out, and I got one in the fridge just, chilling while I'm here. So depending on how long it takes me to get through this Dark Hollow is if I'm going to go to that second one. And if you haven't had Dark Hollow is fantastic. You can buy it in smaller bottles, but go for the big, I don't even know what the hell this is. This is a 1 pint, 9.4 fluid ounces. It's great. It's an imperial stout aged in oak bourbon barrels, and it's phenomenal. If you like beers that have a lot of flavor, a lot of body, just a lot to it, this is the beer for you. If you're one of those people who really don't like their beers to be kind of thick and have meat on the bone type of beer, then this is not for you. It's got a great flavor. You can really taste that bourbony, oaky flavors in it. It's got a very, very stout finish, which I love because I love stouts. And honestly, it gets me off of IPA since I'm always on an IPA kick. So I blame Damok for this because he told me about it.
Absolutely. In my house, we don't call it Dark Hollow. We have not called it Dark Hollow in several years. It is called Old Faithful because it is always the same taste across the board. It's always dependable. It is the beer of choice in this household if you're going to do a dark stout that's bourbon aged.
Yeah, this is real nice. I've had some other bourbon barrel stouts, but Dark Hollow is probably still on the top of that list.
And it sounds like very consistent.
Yeah, honestly, like I've known beers like even Dogfish Head, which I love Dogfish Head. They're 90 minutes. I can get one batch 1 year, and it tastes completely different than the next batch the next year. Now, that's a rarity where it'll have a stark difference, but I have had it where there's been a difference in flavor. One batch of the Imperial 90-minute IPA I got was almost sickly sweet, and I just went, wow, they must have changed something. Then I got a couple months later, I got another 6-pack of it, and it was back to the exact flavor I was expecting.
But remember when you really first got into Dogfish Head, you suggested I try it. I should really like it. And then I tried Dogfish Head, and I told you it's terrible. I couldn't stand it. And now I drank it I think I got a bad batch. Either bad batch or the store had it and let it skunk, because I drank it since, I started back up again, and I have not met a Dogfish Head I didn't like since I started redrinking it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I got started on Dogfish Head with their Indian Brown Ale. I forget. No, sorry. I got started on Dogfish Head at Brattleboro, Vermont. They were doing a Dogfish Head, event there in the hotel I was in. I got to try the 60-90 and 120-minute IPA. I got hooked right away. And then after I tried those, I found the Indian Brown Ale, and that Indian Brown Ale became my beer of choice for probably a good year and a half. I would go down to the factory. They had Indian Brown on bottle there. I'm pretty confident they kept Indian Brown on bottle there because I kept showing up and asking for it. Because I would go down there at least 3 times a week, get 1 or 2 Indian Browns, order one of their laborers, and just sit down for an hour and plow down beers. It was great. Next segment, State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the past week, or we just pontificate about how we feel games are in general. So why don't we roll that back around? Dee, what is your State of Games, man?
I had been playing, I didn't play a lot of games since I was sick. I pretty much slept. But what I had been playing on the Switch, while kicking back in bed, was a lot of Octopath Traveler. That RPG from Square Enix on the Switch, so it's a lot of fun. Individually, the stories are pretty solid. Meeting up the characters feels a little forced. It felt kind of like, just there they are. Now we're suddenly a party. Kind of like a bad DM in D&D. You're all at a tavern. Oh, you suddenly trust one another. So they're a little not good on the transitions, but once you get going, the individual storylines are really good. They just don't all... Meeting the characters doesn't mesh as well as it should, I think, but overall, I love the game. I like the battle system and everything else, so I've been playing a lot of that. and kind of drooling over some of the games that are going to be coming out shortly.
Do you remember the game Seven Saga?
Yes.
Like, I always thought that how you met other characters in that game just felt like it was shoehorned in. It never felt natural.
Yeah. Same kind of thing. Same kind of feel.
Anything else, or is that your state of games?
Pretty much I'm just waiting for some of the upcoming ones. Pokemon Sword and Shield later this year. Of course, the Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, the Game Boy remake, which is one of my favorite Zelda games. And the port of Dragon Quest XI on the Switch. They added a few things to the Switch that the other ones didn't have, including a 16-bit mode that'll turn it back to the older graphics, like the SNES graphics.
Oh, nice.
So it's even though I have it on PS4, I haven't started it, so I'm going to get it for the Switch as well and just see what the differences are, because I know they put in a bunch of extra stuff for the Switch.
All right, what about you, Damok? What's your state of games there, man?
Let's see. Last week it was RimWorld. Before that it was RimWorld. Before that it was RimWorld. And I think before that it was also RimWorld. So this week I've been playing Circle Empires. So
I was expecting RimWorld.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a very long week. Kids are back. They started school. They're doing all that stuff. And, Microbrew kind of screwed me up here because the young one got her hands on that that wonderful gift, and I haven't seen it since. So she's been playing the crap out of that, but I haven't had a chance to play any more Final Fantasy on it. I've been playing Circle Empires. It just released recently on Steam. It's fun. It's dumb, but it's fun. And yeah, I hope next week goes easier than this week and I get to go back to RimWorld.
Hey, Damok, if you were a freelance, doing the articles for it, and you had to write an article for RimWorld, would that be a Rim job?
Oh boy, we can get into rim jobs all day long, because if I lick it, I stick it, and I definitely eat ass.
Remember Rim Job Mob?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about at all whatsoever.
Oh, Christ. So she is the little one playing Final Fantasy IV?
No, she's playing that fighting game, and I don't even know the name of it. But it's that crazy Japanese fighting game thing, and I tried to play it and got my ass handed to me, and she got into it and started rocking it.
Was that a Samurai Showdown one?
Let me find out.
What about you, Zyber? What's your state of games there, man?
Let's see. Last week, it was not RimWorld. The week before that, it was not RimWorld. And I believe before that, it was actually RimWorld. But this week, I've been about, shaft to balls deep in Conan Exiles.
Oh, yeah.
On the G.N.A server, which we would like, people to join us on. It's kind of lonely there playing with just Cecil and I. Yeah, other than that, I jumped back into Pokemon Go because, I heard Cecil was back in it, and we're finally best friends. It took us a long time.
Yeah, it only took us forever.
Let's see, I've been playing Evil Dead, Hail to the King, or whatever it is. I can't fucking think right now.
Hail to the king, baby.
Yeah. Played a little bit of Time Stalkers. I've been rocking a lot of retro stuff lately, just testing out the systems that I got. Like the Japanese version of Wario World, which is actually pretty fun. I don't remember ever playing that game back when it came out for us. But jumping into it and it's all in Japanese is fun. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but get the job done.
Very nice. So, Damok, what was the name of that game?
Battle Arena Toshiden, something. It's fun.
Toshinden.
I put it in the chat. I don't know how to pronounce it. Toshin.
Toshinden.
Yeah,
Toshinden.
Yeah, so the 10-year-old's been playing the crap out of that game, aside from Roblox, when we don't let her play Roblox. But yeah, so it's that game and Roblox.
So I just looked around the room and I don't know why it's just struck me as funny right now, but we're all sitting in OP seats.
Well, yes, we are.
I just thought it was funny. I don't know why.
We're all in different colors, too.
No, I think you and I got red. Damok's
got orange. I'm orange.
Oh, you're orange? Oh, okay, because it looked red. I mean, mine's
so it looks
obviously
like red, orange, blue, and green.
So I actually have two.
Wait a second. Hold on. Aren't those the same colors on that old Simon game?
Red, yellow, blue, and green.
Oh, red, yellow, blue, and green.
You fucked it up, Zyber.
Should have gotten a yellow one. We could have been playing friggin' Simon right now.
If you release the video of the podcast later, you'll see us just duck out the way every once in a while to show a color.
Thanks, ass. I'm colorblind, so I can't play Simon.
That's the next random box of shit we should all send to Damok. A whole box full of Simons.
But you can play a memory game of remembering which lights flash.
He had to label his Rubik's Cube.
I did not label my Rubik's Cube. This was last year's Christmas gift, and they labeled my Rubik's Cube so that all the colors are the same thing with a little symbol on them so that I can actually do it. And yeah, I've played the shit out of it, and I can't get it back together, and I've started wearing off the symbols, and now I'm lost.
Just spray paint it one color. There you go.
If there were assholes like me, they would do that pretty accurately, except for one letter in each color would have been off, so you never fully solve it.
I'll fucking kill you, dude.
And now you know why I don't let him near any of my electronics anymore.
Oh, ask Cecil about the screws. Oh, the screws.
I gave him a Commodore 64 and a screwdriver. He took out every screw he possibly could, and it wouldn't fall apart. Next thing you know, like, he's bashing the thing with a screwdriver, just pissed that it won't come apart. And then he goes, oh, I missed one. He takes the screw, turns it like twice, and then the whole thing explodes, and screws go everywhere. I was stepping on screws in my bedroom for probably the next 2.5, 3 weeks. He made me vacuum, and I never vacuum. Well, my state of games is pretty simple. I have been playing a ton of Marvel Strike Force on my phone. I've been trying to shift off of that a little bit. There's a stupid game called like Smash 'em All. It's a clicker game. Oh god. Damok brings over a half-opened computer, and I just see Dee's eyes get all wide. Oh dear Lord. I was actually playing some No Man's Sky. We're actually going to get into some of the improvements on No Man's Sky once we get into news. What else have I been playing? I actually haven't been playing any RimWorld this week. I've been playing a lot of Game of Life, trying to do ethics papers, which sucks. I think that's about it. That about covers my state of games.
Do you think we'd be better off if they actually taught ethics and business sooner in schools? Like a generation ago?
Oh, I think ethics should be a bachelor's degree course versus a master's. I don't know why I had to wait to master's to get it.
Huh? I had business ethics in my bachelor's degree.
Like every school I've been looking at, all their curriculum, it's in the master's program, not the bachelor's program.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe it's something that they changed up as of recently, but like everyone that I've looked up.
At least they included in the masters. I think they didn't even do that before. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, ethics is a great course. It's honestly, it's probably the course I've learned the most about myself about. It was because they have a whole self-assessment thing that you have to go through, and then as you get through the course, you have to do a secondary self-assessment after you've already done like a first one. And it's really interesting to see what you get on the second one and compare it to the first one. Especially after you've kind of read through a bunch of the ethics. It's interesting. It's an interesting course. It's one I'm enjoying. It's just, man, I hate writing papers. Just so hate it. But yeah, I've been doving in No Man's Sky. I've been playing some Conan Exiles. I actually have finally set up the server, so we got the server set up. Zyber can fire it up. So if you ask Zyber to, or just post it in there, one of us should be able to fire it up for you. But yeah, that's pretty much been it. Right, next segment is news. News is where we actually go through the Discord feed and check out some of the news articles that have been posted in there. The first article out of alcohol news is something that Damok posted. And I'm just going to read the headline for you. If you're willing to drink this subpar beer, you might get free, and I believe it says rent for a year. Damok, did you get a chance to actually read the article?
I read part of it until they got to what beer it was I had to drink, and then I kind of threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Yeah, Miller Coors. Now it turns out that I think that like there's a certain age frame in there, because when I started digging in deeper, it wasn't like anybody could show up and just sign up for this and participate. It was a certain age bracket, and I forget exactly what it was. But
I think
yeah,
it's like 22 to 26 or something like that. So if you're 22 to 26 and you want to drink Coors, and actually Keystone was listed in it too. So, oh god, yeah. So Keystone and Coors or whatever, you can do that. They'll pay your rent for 1 year if you qualify. And I was like, fuck, dude, I'm going to go and get me an expensive-ass apartment that I can just stay in and have them pay the rent for 1 year, but I'm too old.
Nah, so it turns out if you actually read the article, if you read further into the article, they actually tell you that they're only going to give you like, they calculated it out, and for the average, and I quote in air, young person's apartment, they quoted like $12,000 to $15,000 a year. So it wasn't even like you could go get like a $5,000 a month apartment and get paid for it. It was like their calculations on it.
Yeah, I definitely could see that, them trying to put a limit on it, because jackasses like me would go out and get something fucking phenomenal for a year. Be like, I live in a penthouse suite in New York City and, downtown.
But I mean, while I was reading the article, it kind of sparked me thinking, what type of data would they really be trying to get? Like, you pay somebody to drink a bunch of subpar beer. I'm not going to call it shitty beer.
How often you get the shits?
Well, I mean, you can pretty much get that from just following people home from the bar. But no, I'm just
saying, like, those beers, I choke even calling them beers, because I don't think they are. But those things, I don't know, they just give me the liquids real quick from drinking them.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, drinking if I've got a choice between drinking a lot of shitty beer or a little good beer, I'm always going to go for the little good beer, because I don't care how much of that shitty beer I'm going to have. I know the next day I'm going to wake up and be like blasting out of my ass.
Yeah, not exactly. Like, if you're playing beer pong, you don't use good beer. You use shitty beer. It's normally Bud Light, though. Like, who the fuck drinks Coors except for, like, old men?
Hold on. Now, when you say beer pong, describe how you play beer pong for me, please.
Well, first off, you have to memorize all the house rules, and there are 17 of them. There are no risks across the table at all whatsoever, but then you can line them up and you do the standard beer pong shit. And car is pause, and game on is back into the game, just like Wayne's World, because who the fuck doesn't use Wayne's World rules?
So give me the basic setup of the game.
It's a table and a bunch of dudes standing around.
Okay, and what configuration are things in?
Well, that depends. I mean, like, if you want a fat ass, you want big tits, you want to do diamond shape, how the fuck do you want to do things?
So just describe to me what is exactly on the table and what you are using to play beer pong.
Well, I did it in the army, so we used a lot of hard liquor, because fuck you, you're going to die anyways. But normally it was like red Solo cups overflowing with Bud Light, and they're in a diamond pattern I don't even remember. It's like 5 cups in the back, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1.
Okay. Now, Zyber, D, I'm going to ask you the same question. How do you play beer pong?
How we usually play is you've got cups like in a pyramid formation on each side of the table, and you fill each of the beers with, or each of the cups of beer, and if you get the ball in, you take it out, and you know the other team has to down it.
So you're throwing the ball.
Yes.
Okay.
We're throwing the little ping pong ball and trying to land it in, but when we really like to play it is after put at the end of the hill, and we set up like a slip and slide. We go crazing down that, drink that, and you got to run back up, and you keep going through until you get really shit.
Now that's only if you have the yard to do it in, and that gets a little crazy, and that's especially when you invite the girls over and they want to play beer pong, and then they're putting in the 2-piece, and then they're doing the makeshift slip and slide with fucking plastic garbage bags, and you're just hosing it down. But yeah, damn.
Plastic bags? No, we get like the long tarps, or we get that whole stuff, and we put a little bit of soap in that water so it's slick as shit. Hell yeah, we do it right.
All right, now I'm going to bring you guys back to 1989. The first time I ever experienced the game beer pong. Now, I wasn't playing myself, I was observing it. But beer pong, as I was understood, was when you set up 2 glasses, or 1, depending on the number of people you have playing pong on either side. You have a glass set up per person, and you have people with ping pong paddles, and you play ping pong. If you tap their glass with the ball, they have to take a drink. If you sink the ball in their cup, they have to finish the beer. That was beer pong. This stuff that you guys keep describing is a game that I heard about in the mid-90s called Beirut.
No, Beirut is a little bit different from what I understand of ping pong, because we had somebody that wanted to play that, and it got a little more complicated than just throwing the fucking ping pong ball. And there's trick shots in beer pong and all of that, but I don't know, man. Beer pong that I've always seen, it's been pretty much the same. I just never played it until the Army.
You ever see the movie Beer Fest?
Yes, I have seen that movie.
How do they play beer pong in that movie?
The same way that everybody else plays beer pong.
They were playing it with ping pong paddles because the guy sinks it into his cup. The guy smashes his cup. The dude picks up the beer stein and drinks the broken glass cup. What do you got, Zyber?
I just want to say that shit that you guys were talking about with the fucking slip and slide, that made me think to extreme flip cup, where you have a baseball bat or a shaft or something, you turn around really fast, go down the slip and slide, go to the table, drink the cup, flip it, and keep on flipping it until it lands the proper way, and then the next person in your team takes over and does the same damn thing, and you do it until someone says quit.
That's our other variation we like to do with the slip and slide.
Next G.N.A. get-together, we're doing that. All you're going to see is a bunch of old farts slipping, sliding down, and drinking a bunch of beer, flipping cups. Don't shake your head, Damok. Once we get you drunk, you won't care.
No, that's very true. I don't give a fuck once I get drunk, but nah, dude, spinning around in circles, hitting a slip and slide, and then trying to play flip cup, man, those days are behind me, sadly.
No, we'll get the Goes Pros going, and unlike the Cards Against Humanity footage, this footage will actually see the light of day.
I beg to differ, Damok. We get you drunk, you'll do just about anything.
I mean, yes.
I think we'll get you doing that.
You won't even feel it in the morning, I promise.
No, that's the problem. I will feel it in the morning, and then I'll be all shitty because we decided to get another keg of 120, so I'm super fucking hammered and hungover in the morning.
Until you start drinking and you fix it.
Of course you're going to feel the drunkenness in the morning, but you won't feel it. You're not getting what I'm saying. I mean, you won't feel all 3 of us.
No. I mean, you will poop really well, though. It'll just slide. It'll fall out of you.
Oh, dude, I mean, that's like every day. You should see shit. I kind of want to take pictures of my shit. I snake it around the toilet all the way down. It looks like fucking soft serve ice cream that comes all the way up to the top. And then when I wipe and I put the toilet paper down, I'm worried because sometimes I feel something touching my butt cheeks, and I realize it's the toilet paper stacked on top of the fucking soft serve I just did.
It reminds me of Me, Myself, and Irene, where he grabs the guy's newspaper, walks over to the guy's lawn, drops trowel, and you just see him do the face, and then you just see the next scene is somebody pouring soft serve. Oh, man. Alrighty, next article we had was... Actually, I didn't get to read this article, but I'm inferring from the picture of the article is that Bubble Bobble is getting a new game.
It is. I know I saw something about that it's getting that it's going to actually be in the works, but the first thing I saw was that the creator of the Bubble Bobble wanted to create a third for the Switch, and now I think it's got the go-ahead.
That's cool, because Bubble Bobble is fun.
They're in deliberation right now for release and what it's going to be and everything.
Man, the original Bubble Bobble I played was back on the Nintendo, and I loved that game. God, that game was silly fun.
I still have it.
Nice! Did you ever play Bubble Bobble, Damok?
I did, and I'm colorblind, so fuck you guys.
Colors didn't matter depending on who you were, because you had to figure out who you were. But yeah, okay, I can see that being a pain in the ass.
No, fuck you. All the goddamn bubbles are color-coded when you're trying to shoot them up there and knock all the other ones down, and I'm just like, son of a bitch, dude, I'm not matching any of these three colors. It's just like when I tried to play Zoop. Does anybody remember the game Zoop?
Oh,
that was awesome, except I'm colorblind, so fuck you guys.
Alright. Fair enough.
All I heard was fuck you guys, so fuck you, Damok, because I only caught half of that. I saw it in Technicolor, but I only caught half of it.
All I keep hearing is Cartman. Fuck you guys. I'm going home.
Now, Kitty, my papa.
Come on, you guys pushing my ball. Stop pushing my ball, guys.
You guys make buttheads.
Mom, Kitty's being a dildo.
I'm sorry, you're playing color-coordinated games. I've never been able to play color-coordinated fucking games.
What about columns? Bejeweled?
Motherfucker. No, I've tried so hard to play, like, Candy Crush and everything when it came out and everybody was addicted to it and you could, like, do the friends thing. It's cool that they're different shapes, but when I hold the phone away from me a little bit and I try and just get a good glance at it, the color-coordinated shapes fuck with me.
Why are all these goddamn games in grayscale?
All right,
I know
guys.
At CRT TV we should get them for old school games.
I'm super serious about this. We should make a game called Colors with Friends and dedicate it to Damok.
Oh, God. You'd probably make
but it should all be shades of gray.
Yes.
It should all be shades
yes.
I would whoop your ass at that, dude. I see more than 50 Shades of Grey.
I was going to say, will it be at least 50 Shades of Grey?
We'll call it 50 Shades of Damok.
Alrighty, next article that we had there. Actually, this is a piece of hardware news. Did you see that Logitech is they're calling it an impossibly thin gaming keyboard?
Bullshit!
Did you read the article? It was actually really interesting, the what they were pulling out.
Let's see. The article is about 30 sentences long, doesn't talk about shit, and maybe that's because I have an ad blocker, but I can scroll for days on the website and it's fucking empty. But no, it's garbage because that is not how a mechanical keyboard works, and if you want to talk mechanical keyboards, come talk to me. I will talk your fucking ear off.
Well, it's a wireless keyboard. And it actually measures at only 22 millimeters thick. That's 0.9 inches high, which I thought was really interesting for such a thin keyboard. However, it is super expensive for such a thin wireless keyboard. Now, for gaming keyboards, it's not that bad, but at $200, it seems like it's pretty heavy. Now, the thing that I found interesting was the articulation on it. The articulation is actually super, what's the word that they use? I'm trying to find it here. Fuck, I can't find it. But the way I'm describing it is like it was quick. You know, the actual response time on it was super quick.
Now that doesn't matter because the response times of wireless keyboards are actually improving quite a bit. They are really getting good. But if you're going to spend $200 on a fucking keyboard, which I'm running a $300 keyboard, over there is a $250 keyboard. Zyber has a $200 keyboard. You're going to get Philco. You're going to get Ducky. You're going to get some good brand. They're going to come with Cherry MX switches. They're not going to come with an off-brand fucking garbage thing, especially what was it, Razer released their own custom switches for their new thing. Fuck all that garbage. The switches are not any good. Corsair is trying to develop their own switches, and they still do not compete with Cherry switches. But the patent of Cherry switches has been done for several years now, and that's why you're seeing all these new switches hit the market, and they're doing interesting things with them, but you're not beating a Cherry as of yet.
So they're not saying that they're beating a Cherry. They're just saying that they're comparable to a Cherry. But did you look at did you listen to the sample clip that they had of the sounds of the keys hitting?
No, because I run a fucking ad blocker and I don't get all the goddamn garbage from it. But I am reading the article and it says they're somewhat comparable to the speeds of a Cherry MX Red, Brown, and Blue. And if you're using
it doesn't say speed.
Yes, it does.
I'm reading the same sentence. They would be somewhat comparable to a Cherry MX Red, Brown, and Blue.
Which, if you click on that little key switch thing, it talks about the speed of things.
Oh, well, I didn't click on that one. I clicked on the sample audio clicks later. No, but the sound of the keyboard actually doesn't sound to me, as obnoxious as some of, like for instance, your keyboard is pretty obnoxious at times when it clicks.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So the keyboard I'm running right now are Cherry MX Browns, and I like them because it's an overall gaming / typing keyboard. The keyboard that I have back there is Cherry MX Browns as well. I have a Cherry MX keyboard that I pulled all the keycaps off of because it got fucked up. And then I got Zyber Cherry MX Red, and it's fantastic, but you definitely will hear the click if you are bottoming out the keys, which you do not have to do with a mechanical keyboard. And I listened to their sample audio clips, and they are still bottoming out the mechanical switch that they have. And then when you're bottoming out, that's what leads to what they call finger fatigue, which leads to carpal tunnel and repetitive motion syndrome.
No, but I'm saying I listened to it, and it doesn't sound nearly as obnoxious as other mechanical keyboards that I've heard, specifically the Duckies. Not to say that that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that, like, even with them bottoming out the key, it doesn't have that obnoxious click that you get to it. But from everything I'm reading on it, they're saying that it's a pretty decent keyboard for what it's come out for.
Right. It's still not meant for gaming at all. It's trying to get into a niche market of the mechanical keyboards because they are becoming more and more popular. They're still not the old torpor switches where it's the old IBM. It sounds like a damn typewriter when you're on it. And if you wanted to do what I did with mine to alleviate bottoming out the keys and that horrible click noise, then you buy O-rings for it.
So now you say it's not a gaming keyboard, but that's how they're marketing it. And they're even saying that it's getting high praise for it.
I just want to say, like, with these Cherry Reds, the key actuation is minimal, and it has improved my overall hand stress, especially when I have these lovely OPC handles properly leveled to the keyboard so that my arm isn't at a odd angle. So yeah, I would recommend these Cherry switches over many, many, many different types because I've tried many types, and yeah, I don't like pressing a key all the way in now to do like a single letter. I press a key now, and if I hit it too much, I get like a billion of that key. So
I learned how to type the old school way, is where you arc your finger and you punch the key. So when I type, almost everybody hears me because I'm typing the old typewriter way. And I understand that that's a fault on me because you don't need to do that. Like even the keyboard that I have, I don't need to hit the key as hard as I do, but that's how I learn, so that's how I type.
Well, look at, how tall you are anyways. Your key angle is really obtruse anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're so hard, you're towering over everything.
Yeah, I mean, I look like a goblin tinkerer working on a computer.
I'm really, really starting to question your sense of judgment, because there is only one website that is giving any good reviews to this keyboard, and that's that Tom's Hardware fucking worthless website that gets paid by every advertiser to say, oh my god, did you guys see this like super low end graphics card that's absolutely amazing? It's beating out a 2080 Ti. I don't know what you guys are talking about. We should buy this.
See, now I don't see those articles. I only tend to see the articles that seem to make sense. But if you got links to...
I don't know what you're talking about. It's right there. I'm not a big fan of low-profile keyboards, but for those who are, these are compelling, albeit pricey, options. Our friends at Tom's Guide put the G915 through the ringer and said, quote-unquote, it's hard to imagine a better wireless gaming keyboard. High praise indeed.
So I'm not saying that Tom's Guide is bad. I'm just saying if you've got links to bad reviews on it, link them.
All right, we'll do it after the show because I don't want to fuck everything up.
All right, next article we had going on was actually posted by you, Damok, was about one of the games that I fired up just before the show started, which is No Man's Sky. So No Man's Sky had a huge, huge update. In fact, I think it was comparable to about 3 updates in one. And it came out this week. And I've been meaning to get to it, and I haven't had a chance to. And there's been some changes in No Man's Sky. Some good, some I would want to say is bad, but that's just from my opinion. But one of the big things, especially in the article, is the inventory was shifted out from 250 stacks to 10,000 stacks. So if you've ever played No Man's Sky, one of the huge gripes, especially from Damok, was the sheer volume of material that you have to use and the lack of ability to really gain material. You'd be spending more of your time playing Item Manager than you were playing the game. So it looks like they increased the stacks from 250 to 10,000. Is that right?
Yeah, 250 to 10,000. Oh my god, and I see that they're adding No Man's Sky VR to that too?
Already added, it's out.
Oh, I picked up a VR for my PS4?
If you got No Man's Sky, guess what you get to do?
Yeah.
But just like Damok's going to say, if he doesn't say it here in a second, you should be playing Elite Dangerous.
I'm going to leave it alone because I'm not sure if Elite Dangerous is on console yet or not.
It's on console.
Well then, yeah, if you're going to get a VR headset and you want to be impressed by a space game, then you need to be playing Elite Dangerous hands down.
But just like we discussed, you'd never get out of the damn spaceport. You would just sit there and look around and be like, this is amazing!
That's true. It would be like when Elite Dangerous came out and it already had VR capabilities and everybody was like, hey, what have you been doing for the last 9 hours? And be like, you don't understand. I've been trying to dock this ship, but everything looks so amazing. I don't know how to dock the ship because I can't pay attention to the instructions.
Next, replacing Tom's Hardware reviews is Damok's game reviews. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
No, so they've done a huge amount of changes to No Man's Sky. One of the ones that I'm not a big fan of is they changed the visor up. So the visor used to be, all you would do is turn it on, aim at something, and it would auto-scan it after a couple seconds. So they changed it so now that you've got to click. Now I'm hoping there's a setting in there that I just haven't found that allows me to go back to the old way, because honestly, that's kind of a pain in the ass, because it's not even like you can't just hold down the mouse button and move and just like look around and it catch stuff. So you've got to really focus on something and then click on it. So I know that there's probably, scanning birds and something like that and probably makes it easier, but for a lot of the other things, it's kind of makes it a bit of a pain in the ass because now you've got to sit there, focus on it. Oh, did I scan that? Oh, I'm going to click. Oh, well, that's not doing anything. Let me move on to the next thing. And the only way to really figure it out is to sit there and hold over top of it for a second so it comes up with question marks, but still, that kind of slows me down.
Expanded multiplayer. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, like 32 people now or something like that? Some stupid number?
No, it was expanded to 16 players. It was expanded to 16 players on all platforms.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 32 for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm sorry. Throughout the rest of the universe, maximum player count has increased from 4 to 8 players on console and from 4 to 32 players on PC.
Oh, there we go.
Space Anomaly can hold 16 players on all platforms. I'm sorry. I was
okay.
A sentence up. Got all dyslexic there.
It's all good. Yeah, so it looks like they made a lot of, as Damok stated so gracefully and accurately, quality of life improvements to the game, which is really cool. I mean, I still give it to Hello Games every single time I read about an update that they've either done or that they're developing to come out. This game, it's had its rocky starts, and it's taken a lot of flack, and Hello Games, all the way through it, have, they've weeded through the piles of shit comments that have come out, found the things that really obviously they found the things that people really want. Per Damok, I think you described this as it hit all of your complaints, or it hit a bunch of your complaints. Like it was, what did you say?
I wanted to like the game. I was super hyped about it, and when it came out, I was sorely disappointed. I'm so glad I never pre-ordered it. It waited and waited and waited. I got it on a really good sale, and I bought it, and then I tried to play it. And it still had some major issues, in my opinion. And now looking at this latest update that they have, I swear that Hello Games is listening to this podcast and listening to every gripe that I had about the game. And they have personally taken Damok's opinion and decided, you know what? He's fucking right. These are what are screwing people over, and every single change on this major patch is all quality of life for me, which was every gripe I've had about the game. Not one was not addressed in this new update. I'm very excited, and now I might really jump into it seriously.
So that's my whole point, is that Hello Games have made their way to weed through all of the shit comments and find what the people actually want. And by the people, I mean Damok.
Obviously.
There's got to be more people than just Damok complaining about these different things, but they're actually listening. And that to me, like, Hello Games comes out with another game tomorrow. I'm probably going to pick it up simply on principle because they stand behind their shit.
Honestly, in my opinion, all is forgiven, and that crap in the beginning is forgotten. I mean, they have more than made it up. They have really worked their butts off. And everything that people felt slighted on, they have made right. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying from a neutral standpoint, everything that people felt they were slighted on, they have worked their asses off to completely regain the trust in everything else. So I think Hello Games has really learned a lot. And I hope going forward they continue to be an awesome studio because, they were a new studio back when this whole fiasco started.
Now, here's one thing that I think would have made it so Hello Games never saw any of the flack that they did. If when they released No Man's Sky, they put the words early access. If they had done that, I think nobody would have freaked out like they did. Because they would have went, oh, it's an early access game. Yep, okay, we can expect some weird things to happen. Oh, we can expect everything not to be there.
And if they curbed the PR, because a lot of the claims and people were flipping out on were never actually made by Hello Games, but was kind of inferred by a lot of the gaming community.
And they just never stopped it.
They failed to stop it. The PR went out of control, and people started developing a more grander, bigger idea of what the game was going to be than what Hello Games meant to start off with. So I think if they did a little bit better with the marketing, PR, and get control of some of that stuff, and set more realistic expectations, I think this wouldn't have been quite as, bad by any margin.
What do you got, Damok?
Now, I have a hard time with it because at the time that No Man's Sky launched, the early access platform was still very shaky and people were not really investing too heavily in early access games, and they wouldn't have gotten the income from all of the pre-orders and everything like that, so they had to release it a certain way. If Hello Games released another game tomorrow, or at least announced another game tomorrow, I would still be completely hesitant to pre-order, and I honestly wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I know from watching No Man's Sky develop how well that they stand behind their games, I still don't want a launch product that is still relatively unplayable overall.
I don't feel like in the beginning it was unplayable.
What do you got, Zyber?
I was going to be the guy that says I'd still wait about 2 years before getting it, because I did feel slighted about two things when getting that game. I spent the money to get the super deluxe ultra release of it, and I only got the basic release for the cost of the super ultra deluxe copy. And then playing it, I only wanted to get it on launch to play with a certain person on this podcast, and it wasn't possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became a dresser prop, which I accidentally broke my disc anyways, so oops. But yeah, I'd wait 2 years.
Zyber, how does that anus feel after that?
Jeez, guy, dry dock a motherfucker, why don't you?
No, and I can agree. Like, you've always heard me say, look, don't pre-order, because if we continue pre-order, all we're doing is perpetuating this whole paradigm of them releasing shitty games at start. And I'm fully aware of that. And there are very, very few companies that I will give money to as a pre-order. One of those companies happens to be Square Enix. And the only reason that I will pre-order from Square Enix is because every time that they have released a game, every single time that they have released a game that I want to buy, it has been on the level of exactly what I wanted.
Although I must admit, though, I have not pre-ordered or reserved any copies of the new Final Fantasy VII, though.
I haven't either.
Nor I.
But I would have been a whore for that right away, but simply because I don't know what my address is going to be in the near future.
No, actually, I'm not ordering it only because Final Fantasy VII is a very, very... It's just like Final Fantasy IV. When they were talking about it being released on the DS, I didn't pre-order it. I waited a while, read some reviews, and then said, okay, I'm going to go out and get it because I like Final Fantasy IV. But the same thing's happening with Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII has got a very, very distinct place in my heart, and I definitely don't want it to be stepped on. So I'm going to let it come out, see what people say, see what people think, and then move from there.
The only other thing I have on the Final Fantasy VII is that it's going to be in, chapters? And I'm a little hesitant to shell out that much money per chapter.
Yeah.
Which is what I said a few podcasts ago.
Yeah, but I'm still haven't seen where they say it's going to be that much per chapter.
Well, the chapter 1, the first release, they have the price for the first release, which is the first section of the game.
But
and that's at a price of a full game. They do have the prices all out.
But they haven't specified whether when you buy into that, if you're going to get the entire release of game, or if it's going to be like what they're doing with Halo, where they're releasing it in segments and you're paying one price.
Yeah, called episodes, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure. And I agree, it's a bit sketchy.
And that's why I'm hesitant.
I agree completely. It's a bit sketchy, and I that's something else that's making me wait and see what's going to come out from it. But more so than that, I don't want to pre-order it and then get it, and then I feel compelled to play it, and then if it completely shits on my memory, then I'm going to hate it, and I don't know, then I'll probably go back to playing Heavy Rain.
So
you have
with the violins in the background and Cecil crying.
Yeah.
So I am looking at it, and we will definitely find out more at E3. But it is a $60 game up front, and from what Square Enix has said, according to tweaktown.com, that once you buy the $60 game, you get all chapters. It's just what they're going to reveal is what the release date is for the chapters.
Yeah, and that was something that, and I've been reading a bunch of different stuff about that, whether it's going to be you pay one price and you get all the chapters, or whether you're going to be paying per chapter. And until I hear it come directly from Square Enix's mouth, either a tweet, a broadcast, or something like that, all the stuff that I've been reading has been them interpreting what Square has said. Now, if you got a link to what Square said, I may have missed it. I'm not saying that I'm like the authority. I definitely could have missed it.
Same.
If you've got,
I want to know.
If you've got a link on that, I definitely want to know, because I want to make sure, I want to be on the level. Because if it's one price for everything and that's confirmed, that may teeter me over to like pre-ordering it.
That if that's the case, I might actually do a lockdown pre-order on it, because I'm a Final Fantasy whore. You got my money. It's Final Fantasy. I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah, but there are a few companies out there that I will pre-order from. As I said, Square Enix is one. CD Projekt Red is another company that I will throw money at every day of the week.
We don't talk about CD Projekt Red. If you're not throwing your fucking money at them right goddamn now, you are a piece of shit.
I'm a piece of shit.
Well, honestly, CD Projekt Red is a company that if you like the game that's coming out, I would say throw them money, because the more money that they get, is only the better that the game can possibly be.
Well, I look at it like this. With CD Projekt Red, I've bought every game they've made in the line of Witchers from day one, and multiple versions and copies between digital and disc, and multiple systems between Xbox and PlayStation. So they got a pretty good amount of money from me.
And that's perfectly fine. But I'm just saying, for me, from a personal standpoint, I'm not saying that everybody has to. I'm just saying that for me personally, there's a few companies that would.
But Damok is.
Oh, yeah. Well, but so there's actually one company that has fallen off of that, which BioWare used to be a company that if they said they were making a game, I would pre-order it if I liked it. And Anthem was the game that actually was that tipping point, because I saw that and I saw what they were promising, and I said, no, there is something fishy here. And I didn't pre-order that game. And I'm really glad that I didn't, because of how that turned out. And BioWare has now actually, they've got a ways to go before I will turn around and say, yeah, I'm going to pre-order their game again. But again, this is all my opinion. I think Hello Games has pulled themselves from the fire. And if they say that there's another game coming out, now granted, I'm hoping that they've learned from it. And if the next game that they come out with ends up burning me again, like No Man's Sky did at the beginning, they'll probably lose my faith, and I won't put them on that short list of companies I'd pre-order from. However,
unless they use proper wording.
However, if they came out tomorrow and they said, hey, we're making this game and it's a game that tickles my fancy, like if they came out tomorrow and said, hey, we're making a game like Starflight 2, only it's going to be 1 billion times better. I mean, first off, I'd probably pass out from all the blood that would rush to my penis. But when I woke up, I would pre-order the shit out of that.
Oh, fuck you, dude. You'd fuck the couch, then pre-order.
Dude, like if I woke up and I was, what am I saying? If they said they were making Starflight 2 but better, I mean, I'd be like that whole 4-hour thing. I'd be running on like 16 hours going, look, dude, no matter what I do, I beat this thing with a mallet. It's not going down. So I need you to give me a shot, suck some blood out of it.
Hashtag Priapism.
I wish I would throw money at one company, like say pre-orders, if it ever came back from the dead.
Okay.
I loved Working Designs.
Oh God,
what games did they make?
Well, they didn't actually make the games. What they did is there was popular Japanese games, especially RPGs, that they would port over to the US. Think of the PlayStation Special Edition release of Lunar 1 and 2. There's a host of other ones.
I think they did the Sakura War games also.
Yeah, they did like the Growlancer on the PS2. They ported games over that were like Japanese, that like especially RPGs, that were really good, and they did fantastic packaging. Everything looked like a special edition.
Pretty much like what Limited Run-ins is doing right now.
For physical games, yeah. Except that's what Working Designs did, but they were specialized in bringing some Japanese games that otherwise would never see a US release over.
Huh.
So that's where like a lot of some cool games on the TurboGrafx 16 that I have. That's where some of the, the cool, like also another one on the PlayStation that was a big, thick special edition was the Arc the Lad Collection. So a lot of those were all done by Working Designs. Not the initial, make of the game, but the port over. Thunder Force on the PlayStation, Mirage.
All right, well, we got to keep going because we got a couple of things left here. So one thing I want to touch on here was a nerd news. Blue Shark posted it, was about Ninja. So somehow Twitch managed to broadcast porn on his channel.
No.
Did you read? Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I read the articles on it, and it wasn't Twitch that broadcasted porn.
No, it wasn't Twitch directly, but it was Twitch broadcasted a recommended viewer on his channel, and they happen to be broadcasting something that was a bit racy. I'm being kind.
To say the least.
I'm being kind.
So what? People got to see some G.N.A. Who cares? Get over it, folks. Come on.
Well, Twitch has got a pretty strict kind of,
policy?
Yeah, policy. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, but people can be on their stock-ass naked painting their bodies, and it's perfectly fine.
Well, that's art.
Yeah, exactly. Pipe down, Zyber. Don't ruin it for us.
I'm sorry. I can still finish with that.
Exactly. Don't ruin it.
Wait. Where the fuck are the people that are painting on their goddamn bodies that are stark-ass naked on Twitch? Because there are some hot Twitch girls.
Yeah, they're there. You got to dig through. You can find
They're there.
I
follow one
Twitch.
specific person.
No, so the question came up was this I don't want to say conspiracy, but was this a slight of somebody being pissed at Ninja and allowing this shit to go out on his old channel?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I personally don't think that it was. I think it was just a fuck up.
Or it was an epic prank.
Ninja has not pulled the numbers to Mixer. Yes, he got several 100,000, which I was actually very impressed to see those numbers, but 17.1 million subscribers on Twitch did not equal 17.1 million subscribers over to Mixer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
No, but I think this was an awesome epic prank. Hey, you know what? I'm a suggested channel. Let me just post porn to a 17.
Now, see, if I all of a sudden was streaming and I got posted on Ninja's channel, the first thing I would do would be the dumbest shit I could think of. Like,
I'd moon 17.1 million people.
Exactly. Like, there would be nipples on stream. I would breastfeed a cat. Like, things would happen.
I'm only kidding, but Cecil, yeah, he would do some strange shit.
Dude, I would do some...
He'd be some Twilight Zone shit going on in that room. Shit would be floating around like a monkey and a cat,
He'd even make Okie cookies.
There'd be some weird shit going on.
We're talking Yellow Submarine cartoon, like weird shit in the
Dude,
background.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Friggin' Star-Lord figuring out that he has epic powers on that planet. I'm going to make some weird shit.
Cecil, the Deadpool of Twitch.
Oh, the next article, actually, it hits me right in the feels, especially since I have a Loot Crate and I have an active subscription, but Loot Crate is filing for bankruptcy. Man, and people, it's funny, I've actually posted this.
My fault.
Well, I've posted this same article in a couple of other places, and I've gotten a range of responses from sarcasm to genuine, question mark over their head of, how is this not an easy thing to do? But, Yeah, Loot Crate is filing for bankruptcy, and they're looking for people to buy them, which, man, it sucks because I really did enjoy. I have a Fallout Loot Crate. I had the Extreme Gamers Loot Crate for a while. I have the Fallout Loot Crate, and I'm a huge Fallout fan. And yes, I know 76.
Hold on, Cecil. What'd you do, Damok? Come on. Explain that face. What'd you do? It was fucking hilarious.
I did nothing.
Oh, no, you can't leave it there, man.
Well, I was out of gin, so I poured the gin in, I poured the tonic in, realized I needed to stir it with something, so I got my keys out. I have a bottle opener on my keys, and I decided to use the bottle opener to stir my drink, and then I licked the bottle opener, and it tasted like metal, and not a good thing. So, fuck you, InLogic, for giving me a free bottle opener that tastes like metal.
So you're saying you needed more iron in your diet?
I have enough iron.
Oh, come on. That thing's made in China. It's not fucking full of iron. It's full of lead. Damn, Mike, I'll be special.
God damn it! It says made in China on it!
Now this time, next time he does the retarded voice for one of our podcasts, we can't punish him anymore because it'll be real. Oh, poor Damok.
All right, sorry, Cecil. You can continue.
I forgot what the fuck I was saying. I'm just going to move on to the next article.
You're sad about Loot Crate.
Yeah, just moving on to the next article.
No,
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, I had Loot Crate when they first came out, and I had Loot Crate for 3 years. Probably over 3 years. And I really enjoyed the shit that Loot Crate was putting out. And then they got kind of stingy where they like, oh, if you want a t-shirt, because I was buying it for the t-shirts. I got a closet full of t-shirts just from Loot Crate, and it was a really awesome thing. I enjoyed the t-shirts. The little figurines were cool. The extra little stuff that they had was awesome, but I was getting it for the t-shirts. And then they said, oh, you have to buy Loot Crate, and then you have to pay for the t-shirts as a separate thing. That's when I canceled my subscription. It's really sad to see Loot Crate going downhill, and now that they're filing for bankruptcy and they're going to be out of the game, I'm sad to see him go, but I kind of saw it coming several years ago when I canceled my subscription.
So one thing I have to say, though, about the t-shirts is that the t-shirts were actually a really high quality, and they were really nice t-shirts.
They really were.
I've always been intrigued by the Loot Crate thing, but I never really committed. I danced around it, but ultimately I'd always just like X out of the browser.
See, Loot Crate would get you because you would subscribe to it, and it's $20 a month, and then you would forget to cancel your subscription because you really only wanted that one box, and then, yeah, you got fucked, and then you got a couple boxes, and you're like, actually, this isn't so bad, and it's only $20 a month, plus, like, a fucking good gaming shirt costs you $25, so I felt like I was getting a pretty goddamn good deal on it, and then I got socks several times. I have a tie. I think I have a couple ties. I got all those pins. I got comic books. I got Ready Player One as one of my Loot Crate items, and that's
nice.
what turned me on to it. And I read the book, loved it. Got the audiobook, loved it. Got the audiobook narrated by Will Wheaton, loved it. Read the book again and loved it. The movie, unfortunately, is fucking awful. Don't even bother with it. But
fuck you.
The books are great.
The movie is fantastic. Eat my ass.
No,
compared to the compared to the book, no, it's not. It's not comparable to the book. But the movie is friggin' fantastic.
But as somebody who has listened to or has read the book twice, listened to 2 audiobooks, and the one by Will Wheaton is by far fucking just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
No, the movie was
okay. So if you have a choice between watching the movie and listening to it narrated by Will Wheaton, listen to the book. Absolutely. Will Wheaton, okay. I mean, you got me there. However, that movie was pretty friggin' good. I mean,
yes,
so what they had to deal with, like, comparatively, I thought they did a really good job. What do you got, D?
I think we're all missing a very, very big opportunity here, the 4 of us. We could replace Loot Crate make a G.N.A version and just call it random shit from Cecil's house.
Yeah. Oh, only problem is, after I got about 3 subscribers, I'd be tapped out in a month.
I'm saying an actual business like where we'd actually send stuff, not literally from Cecil's house, but that would be the ongoing gag.
No, we could. Yeah, we could.
There's too many other replacement crates out there now if you look at it.
Yeah, and eventually someone would get an actual box of shit from Cecil.
Yeah, like it would actually be me sitting there like stuffing my face with Chinese food just so I could take a dump in a box.
That is not how Chinese food works, brother, man. If you're eating Chinese food and you're taking a shit, god damn, you are a lucky motherfucker. I eat Chinese food and it's just like the South Park episode. Backs me up and I have that one massive shit that I have to get stitches for.
Oh, no. I eat it and I
he makes
rock
what
right
is
out.
big as Sony Bono. You know, you get the 70 Curex or whatever. the third episode.
Oh, Jesus. No, so I've been looking into Dungeon in a Box. Dungeon Crate looks a little bit, I don't know, they seem a bit sketchy to me, but I've been looking at Dungeon in a Box, especially since we've been firing up the G.N.A Misadventure League. Thought it might be something to look into. So, but it's disappointing that they're going on, that they're filed for bankruptcy. They're not necessarily under yet, but they're filing for bankruptcy, which sucks. Yeah.
But you could always get the box for the wife, Dick in a Box.
Mm-hmm. So the next article that came up, and this one made me laugh. I read it and I laughed, and I read it and I laughed, and I'm reading it again and I'm snickering as I mute the mic. Some dude in California made his license plate null.
That is a great fucking article.
Isn't it freaking awesome?
Yes, that is an amazing article. I actually really enjoyed it. I just feel bad for the guy.
No, so the dude made his license plate null, which, if you're a friggin' geek, that is, like, spot on. That's what your license plate should be. However...
Yeah, he wanted his wife's license plate to be void so they could have null and void in the driveway.
So the dude had null. So it turns out that every time there is a ticket that they can't assign to somebody, it gets assigned to null, which in computer language, in computer terms, is completely logical. There is no input, so it gets assigned to null. This poor motherfucker got every ticket that was assigned to null.
So, and it really screwed him because the first ticket he got was somebody scraped off, or he thought that somebody had scraped off the tags off of his license plate and used them, which is a very popular thing in California, which is why they teach you to sticker on top of sticker on top of sticker. So when somebody tries to scrape it, it fucks it all up and they can't use it right. And if you look at I'm born in California, raised in California. When you look at it, everybody's tags got stickers yay far off, man. And it's just crazy because they do it that way.
Audio. They can't see that.
Yay far off is a unit of measure.
Yeah, like yay far off. I mean, like a quarter an inch to half an inch or so. It looks ridiculous for really old cars sometimes, but that's something that they teach you in California to do because people will go with a razor blade and scrape off your new stickers. So this dude got a invalid sticker from some traffic cam, and because California has traffic cams for everything, they can ticket you. They do that. He pays the fine. And as soon as he paid the fine, because his license plate was registered as null, he ended up with like almost $13,000 in null tickets because officers forgot to write the license plate to vehicles and everything. That fucking sucked for him, man, but it was funny as shit.
Oh, God. I feel bad for the guy, but I will snicker every time I read that article.
Now, he also fucked up the second time when he went to re-register his license plate. And you gotta read the article. It's actually fantastic. He fucked up with... He didn't think anything of his license plate. He is a computer guy, and he just circumvented the system and re-registered his license plate by using the registration code or blah, blah, blah. And that's when they had upgraded their license plate system and fucked it all over. I actually had to look up multiple articles on it because it was just too good.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, if you haven't heard about this, God, look up null license plate California and you will find it. It's amazing. This next one actually was, again by you, Damok, was the VPN industry is on the cusp of a major breakthrough. Whoa, Dark Hollows hit me hard.
Yes, it is.
So it's a technology called WireGuard. Now, this article I didn't get to read, and that's my fault. I got busy today, and it was posted this morning, and I didn't get a chance to read it, so that's my fault. But can you tell us about it, Damok, just so people can understand what's going on?
So WireGuard has been a concept, and it has been introduced for several years, and people have not really paid that much attention to it, but it was all about increasing the speed over a VPN connection. It's, legitimately all about the speed of a VPN connection. NordVPN and somebody else picked it up, and they've been using it, and it has increased the VPN speed. I have NordVPN because I got it for some deal on some fucking YouTube channel that I watched and was like, all right, I use Nord. It's fantastic, and lately the speeds have been absolutely amazing because they have switched over. And I don't know how many of you guys use VPN if you're working and stuff like that, but if they incorporate this, it's phenomenal speeds. It's all about making the VPN as close to your natural connection as possible.
Which is really cool because VPN in general has always been notoriously sluggish. Even when you pay for high-end VPN services and you have high-end tunnels, still there's that overhead just chops away at your speed and performance. So it's really nice to see that they're actually making advancements in VPN.
I'm not saying that I do any of this, and I'm not saying that I did any
Hold
testing.
on, Damok. Hold on. I just want to say, only reason I'd want a VPN is watch my porn in 4K.
No, man, you're looking at VPN the wrong way then. You can watch porn in 4K on a fucking incognito window if you really wanted to. Especially if you're going to choose Firefox over Chrome, because as Chrome is doing more tracking and trying to get away from things, Firefox has introduced way more privacy spectrums. But if you are somebody like myself that decides I want to watch Netflix and I want to watch the UK version of Netflix so I can watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it's not on American Netflix, I jump on my NordVPN, I log into Netflix, I get to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and now I'm streaming at high quality with zero lag, whereas 6+ months ago, if I tried to do it and I was trying to watch the end of season 1, it has a lot of buffering. Now there's no buffering. It's doing fucking awesome. And they introduced a big Linux client to it.
Linux, you
Damok,
say?
I didn't get to read up on the article, but for the increased speed, did they sacrifice any security at all that is known as of yet?
No, actually, they decided to do double encryption and do that as an even further standard. Now, that actually comes into which VPN service you use. I have Nord. You guys may or may not have a different VPN service if you use VPN, but I know
I have null.
Yeah, I have Nord. Nord uses double encryption. I'm still able to use my double encryption and do it. I'm still able to access everything at a high speed. It's actually a very interesting read if you're a VPN user and you want to get into that.
I've typically used Cisco because I don't really buy into, well, I shouldn't say buy into. I don't usually pay for like my own private VPN, but I've used Cisco for different jobs and work and everything.
Cisco is, Cisco depends on where you're going, what's your access point, who's providing it. If it's your work, well then, that all depends on what your work uses for it. Is it outsourced, is it insourced, but that's a whole different story.
That's a whole, I was just curious to how they got that uppage in speed without sacrificing, the security. I suppose they probably streamlined the overhead somehow.
Read the article. It will explain better than I could ever explain.
Okay, cool.
Or just look it up because it honestly is fantastic, and it's going to be a major leap forward in VPN technology for not only government use and private corporations, but for a personal use, and I've really enjoyed it so far.
Dude, it's $96
bucks
for 2
up,
years. That's like nothing.
No.
Yeah, I'm looking at Nord right now.
Yeah, but what you need to do is go on to a YouTuber's website that is offering a deal. I got a 3-year deal for $3 a month.
Yeah, it's there right now. It's $2.99 a month for $107. It's a 3-year plan. I'm just looking at the 2-year plan. 2-year plan is $95.75. 3 years is $107. $2.99 a month.
And NordVPN, I watch a lot of YouTube guys, but they had that and I got off there, and I don't miss the $100 maybe, less than $100 than I got for the plan. I'll just keep eating it, even when it goes to full price. I'll keep eating it. I love the VPN.
Yeah, I might have to look into this. Yeah, NordVPN. Check it out, guys.
I will do.
Alrighty, next article that we have here under Nerd News is this one's actually kind of funny. So the Russo brothers reveal which X-Men would have survived Thanos' snap. Anybody get a chance to read this article?
Unfortunately, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I
All
did.
right, so Zyber, don't answer. Who do you think survived?
I would say Nightcrawler.
So it turns out one X-Men would have survived, and their reasoning behind it I found hilarious. Wolverine would be the only one who survived Thanos' snap. And the reason behind it is because they said they wanted to see an irate Wolverine go after Thanos.
That would be pretty fun.
I read that and I said, that is the funniest shit I have ever heard. Because, okay. Yeah, I could see Wolverine surviving, and I can't figure out why Wolverine would have survived it. But okay, I could see Wolverine surviving it, and I could see Wolverine, just literally charging at Thanos and just instantly being turned into, bread pudding.
Yeah, I would definitely see Wolverine go back into a berserker feral state and just shred.
Yeah,
See,
I could see him try.
My response, though, made logical sense.
Well, yeah, because he would have bamfed out of existence over into that other dimension, and then when he came back, he'd be like, "Oh shit, everybody's gone."
Which is technically outside of our universe, so he wouldn't have been affected by that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought I was pretty clever.
No, I agree. That was a very clever statement.
The only other person, though, that I think would be, exempt from it would probably be, Domino.
Oh, because of the luck
She'd just
factor?
be that lucky.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But Domino's not an X-Men.
It is a probability.
No, but, dealings with the X-Men a lot through her shit with Cable.
Yeah, but this article was specifically about the X-Men surviving. Which one of the X-Men would survive?
I know, but still, I consider them, cheek to cheek kind of thing, so I looped it in.
What villain would Thanos have to snap twice for, though?
Kingpin.
The Blob.
Your mom was so fat, Thanos had to snap twice.
I was avoiding a mom joke, but I was still pretty funny.
Alrighty. Do we have any questions before I forget those and have to drink another fucking fifth of Jim Beam?
Yeah, dude, I saw the question thing highlight, so there's probably some questions, but not by me.
All right. So let's kick into questions here. If you could influence a current game in production, what game would it be? Oh, God.
Now, when production, are you not talking about development? You're talking about actually full on, they're producing it at the factory, or while it's being,
You
developed?
can influence the game, as in you're there in the room, they're doing the storyboards, and you can say, yeah, I don't like that.
Vampire Bloodlines 2.
Final Fantasy VII, Square, don't fuck it up. The remake.
I've got so many ideas for the Vampire the Masquerade game, and I hope I see at least one of them. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I was going to go with Cyberpunk, but I really want to just be I want to be enveloped into that game. I want to be told a story and just let myself go.
I don't think I'm smart enough or creative enough to positively affect 2077. It looks too awesome for me to be a part of.
Oh, I don't think I'm creative enough to positively affect Bloodlines 2, but I want to influence that game if I can.
I give you enough creativity for that.
What about you, Damok?
Borderlands 3 can suck my dick. Fuck you, publishers. Fuck you, Gearbox. Fuck you, everyone. I do not plan to play your game, purchase your game, especially after all the shit that you've been doing and pulling and copyright striking people off of YouTube and all of that goddamn shit. I didn't get a chance to post that in news, but it should have gotten news today. Fuck you guys. When Cyberpunk comes out, you better pray that you don't fucking release anywhere near when Cyberpunk's coming out, because you're fucking done.
Okay.
Actually, can we also alter the question for what publishing company would we love to influence? I'd love to pop into EA and just start yanking off the floor your fucking loot boxes and microtransactions.
No, leave EA alone.
Shit, you bitches.
Leave them alone.
Nah.
They're going to do something good, and they're not going to fuck it up. And if they fuck it up, then they're going to have to deal with Damok.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's publisher, I would go after Activision and just, I don't know that I'd want to say influence them, just walk in and kick every one of them square in the nuts.
I'll wait for after...
If it was a developer, I'd have to say Square Enix.
Oh, man. Yeah, see, the thing is, I'd be so nervous.
Because, like, I gotta, rectify them giving me hot-ons all the time.
Yeah, like, if I walked into their boardroom and they're like, hey, you get to influence and help develop this game, and we're going to go in the direction that you say. Literally, the only thing that would happen is I would again get a hard-on that would suck all the blood from my brain, and I'd pass out in the middle of the room.
Yeah, and then we end up a game that's all about Cecil for some reason.
Cecil Harvey all the way.
You see, I'd probably be like the best, employee ever. Because what I would do is I would pull a shit I saw from that movie, Catch Me If You Can. Well, what do you think? Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. I'd bullshit my way through the whole fucking thing and take credit. Like an asshole.
It's like Galaxy Quest. We'll do that!
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus. All right, next question. What is the greatest game system ever released and why?
PC. And because it's the master race, stupid.
What about you, Cyberblood? What do you say?
I gotta agree. I mean, PC all the way. It doesn't fail until it's out of date. And it doesn't really have that short of a out of date.
God, I want to force you fuckers to play it back when you only had 640K of memory.
You know what? Let's go back to 640K memory. I pulled out that old goddamn desktop computer, and I can still play way more games.
There's nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the Leisure Shoot Larry games we used to play, that dungeon game we used to play.
Both of those games required extended memory of a meg or more. You could not play them on 640K.
That's fine.
Okay, let's go back to the Bullfrog Studio days. Let's go back to the Westworld days.
Fine.
All of those games required at least a meg of extended memory.
A meg of extended memory for fucking Bullfrog games? You are fucking high, bro.
Name a Bullfrog game.
Oregon Trail.
Okay, so Oregon Trail might not have. Okay, so you got me there.
Okay.
Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen Sandiego absolutely required extended memory.
No, it fucking did
absolutely
not.
did.
The first, no.
Where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Nope.
Both of them required extended memory. Dude.
Mommy, Daddy, stop it!
The original absolutely did not, as it was a text-based game entirely. So I got a dick that you can suck on.
Hold on. Link that. Because the original Carmen Sandiego, there was two of them. Where in the world was Carmen Sandiego? And where in the USA was Carmen Sandiego? So which one are you talking about?
I thought the text-based one was remade as Where in the World was Carmen Sandiego. I thought they did a text-based and then did a full-on, extended one. But I may be wrong. I thought they made two versions. I'm actually not going to go with the PC Master Race, and I actually have an answer that is console-based for this one. Since they said gaming system, I actually have a good answer for this one.
Hit me.
I actually would posit the NES. And the reason for the NES was it pretty much saved video games in the United States from the big video game crash. Which, of course, since people got right back into console gaming, gave a lot of companies enough money to also produce some excellent PC games. So it really benefited everybody. Since most gaming almost died out after the crash, after the, gaming crash caused by the constant overflow of shitty games on the Atari.
I could go for that. Yeah, there were a lot of shitty games that came out for the Atari.
A lot of...
Like almost as much bloatware as came out for the Wii. That's how bad.
Oh, I like the Wii.
I like the Wii.
There was a lot more bloatware on the Atari. I mean, initially there was a lot of killer games. I mean, classics people still play in the arcades today, but that crash almost ended gaming as nothing more than a temporary childhood fad in this country. So I'm really glad that the Famicom in Japan really, NES here really helped revive gaming, and it had such a large influence.
Gotta love systems that you get a shovel with when you buy them.
So, Cecil, what computers had the extended memory again?
What computers? A bunch of different computers had extended memory. I mean, IBM Blue Chips had it. So, Tandy Sensations.
When I can play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? It came out in 1985 for Microsoft DOS as text-based, or Where in the U.S. is Carmen Sandiego, or USA is Carmen Sandiego, 1986. It came out on DOS as a text-based game. Where in Europe is Carmen Sandiego, 1988, was also a text-based Carmen Sandiego game. Now, there are remakes of those games that, yes, you would have had to do, but then the Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego 1989 definitely may have required, but I can't verify from the article I'm looking at. And then in 1991, Where in America's Past is Carmen Sandiego. I could understand if you needed to do it because it was Commodore 64 and Apple II at the time. And then Where in Space is Carmen Sandiego was the one that would require extended video RAM in 1993.
So I was right, there's remakes.
Well, no, I never said there wasn't remakes, but where's the link saying that they were text-based? Because all the stuff that I'm looking at for the 1985, which was released on the Apple II.
Oh, God, I did it again.
And MS-DOS
I did it again.
has videos.
Oh, my God, his Venom question all over again.
No, the Venom question I got totally... Like, I literally got triggered on.
Yeah, fuck you, because that was totally fucking awesome, guys, by the way. Like, that
Maybe
was
this
so
is like
worth
the
it.
Mandela effect going on right
triggered.
here. Maybe there's two universes combining.
I totally got triggered. I did. I like shifted into fifth gear on that one because I was like you could hear me tweaking out on that question. No, but I'm looking at the 1985 right now, and I'm not seeing text space anywhere. I'm seeing old school graphics, but I mean they're shitty, but they're old school graphics.
Cecil was that meme where the kid has that bulging neck vein.
And I remember playing Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego at my high school on the old Apple IIe computers that we had there, and it required extended memory on the Apple IIe.
I remember playing text-based.
Well,
first.
It was there.
I
There was
remember
text.
playing it in Miss Phillips' classroom.
Yeah. Well, it was Mr. McMorris that I remember. It was his computer lab.
Thanks for enjoying the show.
No, so
I remember
I'm okay with being wrong.
Carmen Sandiego and Mario Type.
So I'm okay with being wrong. Link where you've got a text-based version of it, because every version that I'm finding is the old school shitty graphics that I remember. And I remember playing it in it wasn't 1985, it was 1987. It was in our computer lab. And I would sneak over there because I would play Voyage of the Mimi upstairs, and then I would go down to the computer lab, sneak in, they'd let me sign in. Well, I say sneak in. They would let me sign in as not a 7th grade student, and I could sit down and play Where in the World was Carmen Sandiego? Where in the World was Carmen Sandiego on the Apple IIes that we had?
Carmen Sandiego, everybody. Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen
It's a
Sandiego.
new game.
That came out.
Saruman San Diego, I disappear after killing your guest.
So there was a deluxe version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego Deluxe on CD-ROM, and it required extended graphics.
When was that released?
But the original, 1985. Well, no, CD-ROMs weren't around then. Why is it? It's not showing me a date for that.
No,
But
that
it
was
had a search
92.
area.
That was 92 at the earliest.
Yeah, so you're looking at Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego Deluxe got re-released on CD-ROM and adds digitized photographs from the National Geographic Society and music from the Smithsonian Folkways. Each location contains 3 sources of clues, blah, blah, blah. But the one that came out, the originals, were on MS-DOS, and they did not draw pretty pictures. They drew little pictures, but text-based pictures, and I did link it, and as much as I'm going to humiliate myself in front of everyone here and in front of the entire internet, my source is Wikipedia, but legitimately, it has the source for older games.
So where does it say it was text-based? The original version of 1985, Goal the track Carmen Sandiego down.
Do we have more questions?
Well, we do. No, but I got to figure this out. Where does it say it was text-based, though? It doesn't.
It doesn't have to say it's text-based when they say the deluxe edition was the first one with pictures.
Yes, it does. Because the original version had like these really shitty pictures. Hold on. I'm going to find you a really shitty picture of it. Like that is 1985. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Nope. That is the CD-ROM version of Carmen Sandiego as displayed in Wikipedia directly as the deluxe edition that came out in the 90s.
Where do you see that?
Directly on the Wikipedia page. A screenshot from the game showing options as a player given location. Carmen Sandiego's interface was designed as a graphical menu-driven adventure game to remove the ambiguity of the previous text adventure games. However, the deluxe version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego that came with pictures was on CD-ROM, adds digitized photographs later on, and all of that. Right. But it is still a text-based game.
I'll give that to you. It does say it right there, the ambiguity of the previous text adventure games. Okay, I'll give that to you. Then Where in the World in Carmen Sandiego quite possibly did not use extended memory.
That's probably one of the only games.
No, you got me. Hey, I'm willing to admit I'm wrong, and you've proven, from what I can see, you've proven I'm wrong, and I'm willing to admit that.
Victory is Damok.
All right, next. Actually, did we go through everybody on what the best system was? Zyber said it. Damok said it. Dee said it. Did I say it?
No. We're waiting on you.
Honestly, I think the Super Nintendo. I really, and I was teeter-tottering between the Genesis and Super Nintendo, but there were a lot of games that came out for the Super Nintendo that I really think pioneered gaming in general. A Link to the Past, Seven Saga, a lot of the Final Fantasies that came out, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. There were just a lot of games that came out for the Super Nintendo that I really feel made gaming history. Like, really are, I think, where things jumped off. The Nintendo, I'm not knocking the Nintendo. The original Nintendo, the Famicom, had a lot to it. And there were a lot of great games. But I think once we jumped over to the 16-bit era, I think that's where things really took off. And you saw just a lot of amazing games. And I think, personally, that's where you saw the transition from arcade game to home console game start to blur a bit. The game I think of specifically is Mortal Kombat, where you play Mortal Kombat. No,
wrong game.
Well, the reason
I was thinking more Neo Geo, but that's just me.
The reason I say that is because the Mortal Kombat game that was out in arcades looked good, felt good, but the Super Nintendo version of that game, when you played it, and especially like Mortal Kombat 2, when you started playing that on Super Nintendo.
Hold on. There's a bias here. We're talking to a motherfucker that would play that game with his feet. That's not even fair.
Just because I was good at it doesn't mean that I'm biased to it. I'm just pointing out that there was this blurring of the lines in that Super Nintendo era that really started to blur those lines, and the mixture of arcade to home console, it started actually becoming more realistic. Versus in the Nintendo era, where you would have arcade games that looked significantly better than what you could get on home console. I think once Super Nintendo came out, you really had those home console games start to catch up with what you could get in arcades. And the reason I'm using arcades is because arcades at the time really were the staple point of gaming at the time, of where you could really find, I don't want to say sophisticated.
A serious variety.
Yeah, variety. I don't want to say sophisticated games, but you could find a lot more higher end games, I guess is what I'm saying.
The technology was more powerful in the arcade cabinet.
Yes.
I'll give you the Super Nintendo, but you really, really hurt my feelings over here, man. Like, there are 3 games on the Super Nintendo. Now, to be fair.
Oh,
D, you fucked it up, man. But
I already said it.
Oh, okay. But, I'm not going to say it again. The Yoshi Mario was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
On Super Nintendo.
You mean Super Mario World?
Maybe it was... I never owned a Super NES. I only owned an original NES. I was never, unfortunately, wealthy enough to have a Super NES. Then Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, yeah.
Was amazing. But the best game that came out that looked amazing, and I got my grandmother to like rent the Super Nintendo, and the one game from Blockbuster at the time, Supreme Victory!
Killer
Perfect!
Instinct.
Yes!
Oh, dude. I not only have it boxed, I still have the soundtrack that came with the Super NES
Dude,
version.
and the best part about that is that soundtrack is like all disco music. It's
awesome.
all
It's
disco
actually pretty
music,
catchy.
and it's fantastic.
It's fucking catchy.
Yeah, so I can absolutely agree with you, Cecil, on the Super Nintendo.
I remember later on, like probably late 90s, there were quite a few techno and rave artists using that disc in their mixes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
I would agree that the Super Nintendo by far was amazing through what it was, and it really brought the arcade graphics to your home TV. As shitty as it was when you had to turn the dial to channel 3, make sure it was all good to go. And, I mean, you had a lot of fun with it. But as soon as you enter the 90s, it's BC all the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, PC did start taking off. And I can agree. PC was... dude, and you're talking to a guy who grew up on PC games. Space Quest. I mean, all the Sierra games. I played Descent, Doom, Wolfenstein, all the, Commander Keen, Duke Nukem. I played them all. And I agree. PC definitely was a hard hitter. But when it comes to gaming, though, at the SNES, it really started to take off. I mean, even... like, while consoles were taking off, PC still had games like MechWarrior, Seventh Guest, the later King's Quest, like 4, 5, and 6. They were all fantastic games. Phantasmagoria, God, that game was fucking weird. But anywho, well, I already said it. I won't beat a dead horse here. All right, next question. Is there a console, handheld, or PC game that you wish you still had? Holy shit. We don't have enough time to name all those games.
Just one.
Fuck. Somebody else go.
Well, me, I brought it back after first purchasing it because it hurt my eyes, but I had an in-the-box, Virtual Boy, and I wish I had it simply for the collecting factor and the cool novelty factor. I mean, it really, no matter how I adjusted it, hurt my eyes, so I brought it back, but I really wish I kept it, because it's such a, centerpiece in so many people's collections now.
What about you, Zyber?
I would say the copy of, I'm probably going to say it wrong, but Raiden for Neo.
Okay. Any story behind that, or just...
No, it was the only game that I had for the system when I had it in Canada, and... I love that game in general. Every time that we'd go to like a pizza joint or something, there was Raiden. I guess it stems back to like loving all those like 1942 style games.
All right.
But yeah, I love those kind of games.
Oh, those shmups are awesome.
What about you, Damok?
So I had a Sega Genesis for all of 3 weeks, and I miss Rumble Fumble Football.
Yes!
That was
God, that was so much fun. Yeah, mine actually, Christ, story time with Cecil, I guess. So I used to rent Final Fantasy 2, which is Final Fantasy 4, as most people know. I used to rent Final Fantasy 2 from a gaming, it was actually the Salem Tractor Supply. And they had games there, which is the weirdest thing in the world.
Can confirm.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing in the world. They had games there. It was a bunch of you had feeds, you had John Deere tractors, and then you had a wall of video games. And that was it. Like, it was just the weirdest thing in the world. But I used to rent Final Fantasy 2 from there all the time. And I rented it every weekend for probably, 6 months straight. I beat it at least 3 or 4 times in that time. Did everything you possibly could do in that game. So when I heard that there was a Final Fantasy 3 being released from an EGM that I read, and the only reason I read it is because the guy at Babbage's said, hey, if you like Final Fantasy, you should read this. And I picked up the magazine, I read it, and it had Final Fantasy 3 being released coming up soon. And so it was being released after Christmas. It was being released in like January or something like that, or maybe it was in December. I honestly can't remember, but I remember that my dad wrote down on a box that looked like it was clothes. So when I opened it up, it was just this box with a bunch of writing on it, and he was trying to be quippy, but he said, everybody has a Final Fantasy, and you do too, with the number 2. And he said, so when it's released, you'll have Final Fantasy and then 2. And I felt bad at the time because I said, well, I've already played Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 3 is coming out. And he went, oh, no problem there. And he just wrote down 3, another extra Roman numeral on there. And I went, oh, well, that was easy enough. So my dad actually went out and bought Final Fantasy 3 because I had showed so much interest in it, and I played the hell out of Final Fantasy 2. And I don't have that Final Fantasy 3 cartridge anymore. And even if I went out and I bought a new one, it still wouldn't be the same because it was that cartridge. Yeah, it was that cartridge. So I wish I still had that cartridge.
So if your dad went out and bought the game again for you and gave it to you, would that bring back the sentimental?
That would be perfectly acceptable. The only other game that I could possibly think of is Blood Omen 1, the original Blood Omen Legacy of Kain.
Which you're the one that introduced me to that series as well, Cecil.
And I've loved that series ever since. They've always had my money, and they will always get my money. If they said they were releasing another Legacy of Kain, either Soul Reaver or Blood Omen, I would fucking cream my pants and then put down money.
Favictus!
Yeah. So those are the. I know I kind of cheated and I said 2 there, but yeah. Anyway. Well, on that note, Zyber, where could
Damok?
Oh, what?
Did you have a game?
You said a game. Yeah.
You did?
Rumble Fumble Football. I believe that's what it was called on the Genesis. They had a hockey game. I never played it, but that football game.
God, as long as it wasn't, I love Mutant League.
Blades of Steel.
Ooh, Blades of Steel. You guys remember Mutant League?
Yes, Mutant League.
No,
football.
that's what it was. It was Mutant League football.
God, Mutant League.
Where you could like shove the dynamite in the football and do a rumble fumble and all of that.
Yes.
And then you like the football field had the craters in it.
Yes.
I had a Genesis for I'm saying it was 3 or 4 weeks, man. And that's all I had it for until it got completely smashed. But my buddy had that game, and I wish that I had kept it.
Mutant League football, man, such a great game. God, Mutant League hockey was great too.
And you can find me at Zyber Games, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as the G.N.A. Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Yeah, but for the other stuff, it's just ZYBERBLOOD, and 10 to 1 you're going to find me.
Nice. Where can people find you at, D?
People can find me on my website, microbrewgamers with a Z instead of an S.com. I've been updating that more frequently with articles now. You can also find me on YouTube, Microbrew Gamers, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I've got my own Discord at Microbrew Gamers, but I'm usually on the G.N.A. podcast one most.
Nice. Where can people find you at, Damok?
as of right now, I just trolled the shit out of the G.N.A podcast, and even Cecil fell for it. So yeah, just join the podcast thing, and it'd be great, man. Join Discord, fuck with it. It'd be great.
Nice. And I am Cecil Xavier, your host. You can find me on Cecil vs. Games on Twitter. This thing's hitting me fucking hard. Cecil Xavier everywhere else. Ustream, Twitch, Mixer, Facebook, pretty much everywhere else you can think of. That's where you can find me. Cecil Xavier. Super easy to find. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to rate, review, or subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show. So if you enjoy listening to us, let people know. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Podcast Addicts, Player FM, Speaker, Stitcher, Your Listen, did I say MyTuner? Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those places. If we're not someplace, let us know. We'll upload there. You can follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Just search at G.N.A Podcast, all one word. You can join the Discord chat, see the pinned tweet, or find out on the website, which you'll hear in a second. We have Game Show Night, first Saturday of every month on Mixer.com, www.mixer.com/G.N.A Podcast. Join us there. We give away free Steam codes for any winner of any game that we play during that time. We partnered with Humble Bundle. I can't believe I want to do this, but hey, Damok, can you tell us about Humble Bundle?
Humble Bundle is a game purchasing service that we, not quite me, but we, G.N.A, are partnered with. You purchase games like you would normally, but with a twist. You choose what part goes to the publisher, or to Humble Bundle, or to the most important part of all. You choose if it can go to a charity. Now, you don't get a charity if you're choosing, but you still get a good choice of charities in there, so fucking get your ass in there and buy the goddamn games. You can give it all to charity if you want, which is what you should absolutely fucking do, because fuck you, we don't want your goddamn money, or I want your money, but the rest of G.N.A doesn't want your money, but whatever, your call. Throw that partner equals G.N.A podcast at the end of your Humble Bundle link before you buy, to let them know that we sent you. So far this month, we have raised $3.75. Hopefully, all for fucking charity, and it's probably one of us. But, you never know. It could be fucking you, and that's what goddamn matters. And, we have a great time. Buy games, buy Humble Bundle, don't give money to anybody except for Damok.
Damok, don't abuse the hearing. Poor Zyber only gets one side. He can't
See
afford
lips
to.
moving, but I can't hear anything. Are you guys on mute?
I think he is on mute. It's okay, though. Let's move on. So do you like anime? We like anime. Join us every Sunday night at 19:30. Or sorry, not that Sunday. Every Wednesday. I gotta change that. I keep fucking that up. Every Wednesday night, 19:30 Eastern Standard Time for Anime Night, hosted by... Oh shit, it's been hosted by me lately. But Blue Shark's been the guy who's supposed to be doing it. We've been going on Cast GG. We post a link out in Discord, as well as you can get it just by searching G.N.A podcasts on Cast GG. Our current anime is... Shit, what are we watching? Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think we're episode 20-ish. Shit, I forgot. I'll look it up later. But anyways, if you like anime, join us every Wednesday night. We want to thank Morgan BS Photography for our new logo and artwork. Check him out at morganbs.com. Email us at gnapodcast@gnaandyourdna.1 with question, comments, death threats. We don't care. We've got a new shop opened up at Teesprings or T whatever. I don't fucking know. There's a link out somewhere. It's probably on the website too. I'm drunk. Don't blame me. Oh, that website though, you can find us at
www.Lucaria. You really have to try this Plymouth Gin, because I'm not a huge gin fan like you are, but so far this has been the smoothest I've ever had, and I'm really enjoying it. I've gone through almost half a bottle during this, and you really should try it, man. I know you're a Bombay Sapphire person, but definitely try the Plymouth Gin. And if you don't like it, let me know.com. Or you can go to GNApodcast.com for all your other fucking needs.
I'd also like to say thank you to everybody that showed out to this past horror movie night. That was awesome turnout. Very much appreciate it. Every second Saturday of the month, you could join us as well.
What Zyber said. Thank you for the assist. And gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely, brother.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Victory is Damok's!
May Victus!
You tried G.N.A mind trick last week. Not work again. What do you think you are? Some kind of alcoholic?